We're going to talk about inequalities, and this here is the less than sign because you can spell less with it. It looks like a L. This is less than or equal to. This is your greater than sign, and this is your greater than or equal to sign. So, number one, we're going to solve it and then graph it. And I know number one looks weird, but if I replace this greater than sign with an equal sign, it should look familiar. So I'm going to divide by -2 to get x by itself. And now we have x is 6, because -12 divided by -2 gives me a positive 6. So we're going to do the same thing on number 1. To isolate the x, you need to move the -2. Since it's multiplied, you divide. Now, here's the only new part. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, this symbol has to change directions. So instead of greater than, it will become less than. So that cancels. X is less than or equal to positive 6. This is 0, go up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, since there is a line under here, I will have to have a closed dot. And it says less than, so I'm going to shade to the left. And we have just graphed this inequality. All of the answers for this problem will include 6 and everything below it. Let's do number 2. I have 2/3 x is greater than 10. Well, if that was an equal sign, I would just, to isolate the x term, I would multiply by 3/2. So I would do that to this side. So this is gone now, and I'm left with x. I did not multiply by a negative, so the sign does not flip. And we know we put that over 1, so this is 30 over 2, which is the same thing as 15. Now there is no line under this one, so I will have an open circle instead of a closed circle. So I'm going to find my 0, and I'm going to go by 5s. 10, 15. And I need an open circle at 15. And it says greater than, so greater than is pointing to the right, so I'm going to shade to the right, and I'm done. So my answers for this problem would be numbers bigger than 15. So I can't use 15 because it's an open circle, but 15.1 I could. Anything 15 bigger than 15. Now let's do number 3. If this was an equal sign, I would -3 and then divide by 4. So treat it the same way, except instead of an equal sign, write the less than inequality symbol. So -3, -3. Be careful, that's not 10, that's -16. Divide by 4. Now he is negative, but I did not divide by negative, so the symbol does not flip. So x is less than -4. Remember, when you are dividing by negative, the inequality symbol flips. But if it has a negative on the other side, that does not require flipping. You do not flip for that. You only flip when you're dividing or multiplying by a negative. And I did not. It's a positive number here. So -4 would be 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I need an open circle, and it's pointing to the left, so I'm going to shade to the left. -7, -7. I brought down my -3x, -3x divided by -3. I divided by a negative, so I had to flip the inequality sign. And that's how I got -5. I drew my 0, I drew my -5, and then I went to the left. So now in the notes, whenever you do not have a line, it's going to be an open circle. And for this one, this is going to be a closed circle. This one has no line, so it's going to be an open circle. And this one here is going to be a closed circle. And I want to jump down here and do number 8. Make sure you can see it this time. Okay. So I'm going to multiply and distribute. Negative 2x minus 6 is greater than negative 22. And then I'm going to add 6 to both sides, treating that like my equal sign. And so now we have 16, negative 16. Bring down my negative 2x, and then I divide by negative 2. I'm dividing by another negative, so he has to change directions. So it becomes less than now. That's a positive 8. So zeros here, 2, 4, 6, 8. And this is a open circle, shade to the left. Okay, so that concludes how to solve these type of problems. Now what I want to do is show you how to solve linear inequalities. So if y is greater than 2, I first have to know where y equals 2 is. Well, we know that's a horizontal line, so that's here. Because he has no line under it, I'm going to draw a dashed line instead of an open circle. It says greater than, so I shade above. And when you come to class, we will talk about all of the meanings for this shading. Everything above this works for this inequality. So what numbers are greater than 2? 3. So is 3 greater than 2? Yes, it's in the shaded area. Is 5 greater than 2? Yes, it is in the shaded area. Let's do x is less than negative 1. So you have to graph x is negative 1 first, which is here. But there's no line, so it is a dashed line. It says less than, so which way is less? Well, no, that side's getting bigger, so less would be this side. And so all the x values over here satisfy this inequality. So what's less than negative 1? Negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. All those numbers on this side. Okay, so now we have y is less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 3. So this one is very easy. You start with b. B is 3. M is 1/2. And so what do? We go to 3 on the y-axis because that's the y-intercept. Then we go down 1 and to the right 2. 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 Is that correct for this problem? No, it's not. And why not? Because he's not negative, he's positive. So what should we have done? You go up 1 and to the right 2. And why are we going up? Because our rise or run is positive. Good job. Now we go the opposite direction, so down and left. I did that because I noticed a lot of you before Thanksgiving were doing that as we were solving for why you were going the wrong way. So I wanted to make sure we covered that in the video. And now you notice my line is not dashed. So whenever you have this here, this line, this equal to part under your less than or greater than, draw a solid line. So now we're going to do y is greater than, oh, I forgot to shade, sorry. It says less than, so that means you have to shade below. And below the line would be here. Now we do this next one. Y is greater than negative 2/3 x minus 4. So we have to go to negative 4 because b is negative 4, m is negative 2/3. So negative 4 is here. And now let's graph negative 2/3. So that means to go down 1, 2, and to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the one you go down on because the 2 is negative and the 3 is positive. So continue that pattern. And then go up 2, left 3. And now I notice that there's no line under it. So when I connect this, it has to be dashed. Okay. And then after that, we shade it. Well, it says greater than, so that means shade above. And which way is above? Means to go up. So that's up, this is down. So shade up. And that concludes inequalities.